Good morning, everyone. Um, a little late getting to it, but last weekend was maybe the best weekend of racing I've ever personally seen at Phoenix. Three really interesting races for a myriad of different reasons. Um, the best IndyCar race I've seen at Phoenix ever. Um, the return to Phoenix for IndyCar, I think, has been a great success. And I'm hoping they're able to build off this and make this a big part of the season. So we're going to go over the IndyCar race, the O'Reilly Series race, and the Cup Series race, and then look at the point standings in all three series afterwards. Starting off with IndyCar, Joseph Newgarden shows that he's still the short oval king. Penske looks to be back in action when it comes to being championship contenders, and several title contending drivers have really capitalized on a poor race for Alex Palou. As we see here, Newgarden with the victory, Kyle Kirkwood in second place. Those are now our top two in the points. Kirkwood's been very strong to start the year, just like he was last year. Um, we'll see if his consistency does not taper off like it did last year. In third place, David Malukas, the pole sitter. Um, Another strong podium run at a short oval for Malukas. He has got to be itching for that first career win, though. He looked like he had the measure of the field outside of a couple drivers we'll get to later. Um, Newgarden's just an immaculate closer at these kinds of races. He might not be there in the first half of that race, but when we get down to 20, 30 to go, Newgarden's going to be there fighting for it. Fourth place, Pato O'Ward continues his strong start to the year. No race winning speed for him, really, but he got what he could out of the car. Fourth place is an excellent run. Fifth place, Marcus Armstrong. It's amazing how these guys come over and they just excel at the short ovals. Marcus Armstrong really showing himself to be quite the strong little oval racer. Definitely got the measure of his teammate Felix Rosenqvist so far this season. Great run for Armstrong. Ditto for Alexander Rossi. The ECR cars looked stout today. Um, I Rossi was definitely the weaker of the two, but he was no slouch. Seven, Scott Dixon finally gets his season off and running after a really poor start last weekend. St. Pete, seventh place. Nice quiet day for Scott Dixon. Um, Probably not what he wanted to see, but starting to collect top tens better now than later. Eighth place, Scott McLaughlin. Um, Definitely didn't have the speed of his teammates there. McLaughlin kind of floated around the back half of the top 10 all day. But, he's still going to be P3 in the championship, and he has something to build off of now. Um, we go back to the streets next time out, so we'll see if Scotty Mack can keep that momentum rolling. Ninth place, Graham Rahal. Weird seeing Graham with the top 10 at an oval. The Rahal cars really had some great qualifying runs. Mick Schumacher did not get the result he deserved. He had some pit lane issues, but he was looking pretty fiery. He qualified very well, fell back a little bit, but still was competitive enough that he deserved to finish better than he did. And 10th place, Kiffin Simpson. Strong run for Kiffin. Um, for someone who is very clearly the number 3 guy at CGR, he's showing that he's doing pretty reasonable to earn his seat. Um, Standings, Joseph Newgarden takes the points lead. Kyle Kirkwood now in second, Scotty Mack in third, Pato O'Ward fourth, Alex Palou drops to fifth after crashing out early. Um, it's been a long time since we've seen someone not named Alex Palou leading the standings. It's almost kind of weird to see. It'll be up to these guys in front of him to maintain it now. We're going back to Palou's bread and butter, the street circuits. Um, so Newgarden, Kirkwood, McLaughlin, O'Ward, like they got a tiny bit of a gap now. They know Palou's going to be fighting to close it, and and it'll be interesting to see how Pelot fights from behind. It's been a while since he's had to do that. David Malukas in sixth place in the third Penske car. So all three Penskes are in the top six. Very good start to the year for them. Christian Lundgaard is seventh place, 24 points behind the leader. He's right there in lockstep with Pato O'Ward. The Arrow McLaren pair are doing pretty good so far. Eighth place, Marcus Armstrong, 28 points back. He has the measure of his teammate Felix Rosenqvist so far. Marcus Ericsson ninth, didn't have the best of runs at Phoenix, but he kept the car. He finished the race, which Ericsson's had a rough go of that the last year or so. So, consistency, keeps himself in the top 10 in points, which is good. 10th place, Alexander Rossi. He's 36 back. He's holding on to a top 10 points position, which that would be a great end result for ECR this year, I think. But he has a lot of guys behind him that are going to be doing their best to prevent him from finishing there. 12th place, as you said, Felix Rosenqvist. That's Marcus Armstrong's teammate. I think most people kind of expected Rosenqvist to have the better of Armstrong this year. So far, it's looking like Armstrong has grown to be the A driver. Rosenqvist is going to have his moments where he's going to try and steal that back. You know that. 13, Scott Dixon. Terrible race last week, St. Pete. Much better this week at Phoenix. He's starting his slow climb back up to title contention. We know by the end of the year, Scott's going to be up there with at least a fighting shot of that championship. Not the best start to it. 18th place, Christian Rasmussen. What a terrible end of this race for Christian Rasmussen. This is the guy who should have won this race. He was going up for a pass on Will Power. Made a jump to the high side that I don't think Will Power was quite prepared for. Went into the wall, damaged the car, took out Will Power's rear tire, really ruined the day for both of them. They were both able to continue, but as you can see, none of them got a top 10 out of it, which is really disappointing. They easily could have finished 1-2. I think Newgarden probably would have caught and passed Will Power, but I don't think he really had anything for Rasmussen. So it's a day of what could have been for Christian Rasmussen. 19th, Santino Ferrucci. The AJ Ford cars have not had the speed this year that they had last year. How much is that is down to Team Penske not having as much of their hands into the AJ Foyt pot this year. I would hazard a guess to say that that's a pretty big point to it. 22nd in points, Will Power. He had a great race going, was in with a shot at a win, probably would have at least gotten the podium, and it all fell apart on him again. It's nice to know that he still has the race winning pace though. He's still competitive. 22nd in points is not indicative of his race pace. So you can expect him to be moving up once he's able to complete and put full races together, hopefully as early as the next race. In 25th, Mick Schumacher, last of the full-time drivers. Had some issues in the pits after starting third. It's not starting off too well, but here's hoping as the season goes on that he's able to put together some really strong races, getting to the finish of them, and kind of showing what kind of talent he actually has. Because Mick Schumacher's a talented driver. He is not the 25th best full-time driver in the field. It's just a matter of getting to the end of these races. On to the O'Reilly Series. Another really strong race for a bunch of guys. Justin Allgaier came out on top, beating out Jesse Love, Carson Kvapil, Sheldon Creed, and Sam Mayer. All five of those guys were in with a shot to win this race. Very strong race from all of them. I thought Carson Kvapil was going to get his first career win. Just wasn't meant to be. Sheldon Creed came out looking for back-to-back oval track victories. Couldn't get that done. They were all very strong, but Justin Allgaier came out and showed that he is still a beast at Phoenix. Sixth place, Sammy Smith. Seventh, Jeb Burton. Jeb Burton with a great run for Jordan Anderson Racing. And right behind him, Raja Karuth, his teammate. Another great run for Jordan Anderson Racing. Raja Karuth, very strong, showing that he doesn't need to be in the 88 to be a contender. Ninth is the 17 of Corey Day. Corey Day having blessedly quiet race compared to what his last couple races have been. Still bringing it home in the top 10. That's what he needs to be doing, is not making any more enemies for a couple weeks. And 10th place, really strong run for Viking Motorsports and Anthony Alfredo. The standings after race 4, we have a new point leader. It's Justin Allgaier, on the back of a really mid race weekend for Austin Hill. Justin Allgaier takes that points lead by 3 points over Jesse Love. Austin Hill maintains 3rd place at 5 points back. And then it's a bit of a jump down to 4th place Carson Quapple. He's 38 points back. Sheldon Creed, the winner at Atlanta, is 41 back. Sammy Smith, 52 points back. 7th place is Raja Karuth. He is doing a great job to start the year. He's 65 back, 1 point ahead of Corey Day. Sam Mayer in 9th, 74 back. And then as Parker Redswath hanging on tough, 10th place in points, 80 points back. 11th place, it's Brandon Jones leading the Toyota Charge, 89 points back. That's no Toyotas in the top 10 in points. It's a Chevy party in the top 10. That's crazy. I know there's 30 almost full-time Chevrolets and 6 full-time Toyotas. But to have no Toyotas in the top 10 in points when Joe Gibbs Racing is your flagship team, that's crazy. So we got Jeb Burton in 12th after a really good run this weekend. He's holding up 12th place in the final chase spot at -90. And tied with him, but losing the tiebreaker in 13, is the second Toyota, the Joe Gibbs Racing 54, Taylor Gray. He is also 90 points back. As we look at our slow starters, 18 in points is William Sawalich. He's 117 back. Bad race at Phoenix for William Sawalich. Had an accident early on. The talent is there. He is a fast race car driver, but for whatever reason, he has a really tough time putting together full races. And he's going to put himself behind the 8 ball just like he did last year. He's going to have a hole that he won't be able to crawl out of. Sawalich will eventually be an O'Reilly Series race winner, but his status as a top prospect is fading day by day, especially when you have Brent Cruz -125 down, kind of nipping at his heels. And this is a Brent Cruz who missed the first 2 races of the season because he wasn't old enough. So, Brent Cruz is not technically a slow starter. He's had some really good runs to start the year. He's just wasn't old enough to race in the first 2 races of the year. So he's stuck behind the 8 ball, 20th in points, 125 back. 22nd in points right now, Austin Green. New team, split from Jordan Anderson Racing. And they've had some really rough growing pains. They haven't been too strong at the super speedways, had some poor luck at the road courses where they were supposed to be strongest, and they were kind of invisible here at Phoenix. I think their status that I personally anointed them as a dark horse chase contender is pretty much gone at this point, at least for this year. They're going to need to start putting in some good runs just to build for next year at this point. And then 30th in points, 152 back of Justin Allgaier is Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton is still behind Jordan Anderson in points. Jordan Anderson's only raced Daytona. Not a great year for Harrison Burton and Sam Hunt Racing. He is so far behind the 8 ball. At this point, you would think Harrison Burton's just going to go for Hail Mary shots at victories to try and make the season not a total disaster. That's all you can really hope for. There's no way he's going to make up 62 points on his cousin and Taylor Gray. It's not a viable thing for him at this point. That car is not fast enough. And these guys are all far too consistent to lose that much ground to a Sam Hunt Racing Toyota. Then we move on to the Cup Series, the Straight Talk Wireless 500 at Phoenix. Ryan Blaney avoided here in that victory. He was back to the front, to the back, to the front. Every time we visited pit road, Ryan Blaney endured another nightmare, and he still came out of it close enough to Christopher Bell to be consistently mounting a challenge to him. Christopher Bell looked like he had this race well in hand until the final caution came out. Christopher Bell took 4 tires. Ryan Blaney and several others took 2. Blaney was able to finally get the clean air that he needed, and Christopher Bell was not quite able to catch him before the checkered flag flew. Another 2 or 3 laps, it might have been a different story, but we did not have 2 or 3 extra laps. So Ryan Blaney is your winner, capping off an IndyCar Cup Series sweep for Team Penske. Christopher Bell, he ends up P2, probably having the fastest car of the race. I don't think really Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano were the only 2 that really had anything for him. And Joey Logano got caught up in an accident with practically everyone else that wasn't in the top 10 here. Kyle Larson, 3rd place, continues his run of being consistent, but not really being a threat to win. He's going to hope to change that in Vegas next week. He's going to be really looking to break his winless drought there. Ty Gibbs, another strong run for Ty Gibbs. Maybe he's back on the docket. He looked like he had a shot at winning this race. He had the same strategy as Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney just had the better car. Denny Hamlin, P5, another strong race for Denny to kind of claw back from his early season hole. Yeah, it was a really strong race for the Toyotas. The Toyotas definitely looked like they had the measure of the rest of the field. They just couldn't account for Ryan Blaney. Bubba Wallace, P6, continues his hot start to the year. Never really been terribly strong at Phoenix, still comes home 6th. He's done really well to kind of minimize his negatives. You know, he had 11th place at Circuit of the Americas. Now he's 6th at Phoenix. Hanging on to a strong P3 in the points. Bubba Wallace, you got to start looking at him as a potential championship contender at this point. 7th place, William Byron. Not the hot start for the title, potential title favorite that we expected from Byron. He's just lounging around, finishing between 5th and 10th most weeks at this point, and he's not running much better than that. 8th place, what a terrible run for Tyler Reddick. Oh my God. How are they going to handle 8th place? 3 straight wins and an 8th place. We're going to need a lot more if anyone's going to catch up to Tyler Reddick in the points at this point. 9th place, Michael McDowell. Great run for Michael McDowell. He's showing that, you know, Spire might have arrived at this point. They got all 3 of their drivers in the hunt for the chase this year so far. And Michael McDowell is leading that charge. At 10th place, Eric Jones. Great run for Eric Jones. Really showing that it's not just the 2311 and Joe Gibbs Toyotas that are showing some speed. Good run. Really, he needed that. He's had a really bad start to the year. Definitely probably not in contention to make the chase this year. But it's going to be another building year for the 43 and the 42 car. Great run for Eric Jones. Standings after race 4 of 36. Tyler Reddick at 225 points. He keeps a big lead. Ryan Blaney did cut into it. Now only 60 points back. Bubba Wallace in 3rd, 72 points back. Then we got a bit of a gap to 4th place Chase Elliott, 97 points back. 5th place SVG, 109 points back. He finished 11th. If we start getting regular top 10 SVG, oh boy. Especially if SVG goes on and starts dominating some of these road courses. That might just be where he finishes. SVG is now very much a real threat to be not just in the chase, but in the top half of the chase. These other guys are going to need to do some work to build a gap, especially if he starts clicking off race victories. Christopher Bell up to 6th. He's had a really good last couple races after a bad start at the restrictor plates. 7th place Joey Logano got some great stage points. Was a contender for victory today. Got caught up in an accident. Otherwise, he'd probably be right up there with Chase Elliott in points, maybe even ahead of him. Michael McDowell, as we said earlier, he's leading the Spire charge. All 3 Spire cars have been quite impressive so far this year. 9th place Chris Buescher, RFK, kind of falling off a little bit. Keselowski is still hanging on to a playoff spot. Ryan Preece just hanging off outside of it. Chris Buescher definitely leading the charge in ninth place. Never really showed the speed. As you can see, none of them are in the top 10. None of them were really kind of threatening for it either. 10th place, Kyle Larson. He's going to be looking to go to Vegas next week and stunt on them. Vegas might be his best track on the schedule, and he's going to go out there looking for victory. And he needs to kind of show that he is still the guy. And piggybacking off that, his teammate William Byron is going to be looking to do the same. Chevy has not won a race yet this year. Both of those guys are going to be looking to stamp their authority and try and make sure that Chase Elliott isn't the only one fighting for this top 5 in the Chase standings. 12th place, Denny Hamlin, slowly picking his way back up to the top of the order. Going to be a contender at Vegas, absolutely. Now that we're going to some tracks that he's very strong at. Phoenix, very strong at Phoenix. Finally got a good top 5 result. We're going to Vegas. He's pretty strong at Vegas. We should be expecting more of the same from him. AJ Allmendinger in 13th. AJ's doing better than I think AJ expected to do at this point. We have no idea what's going on with Kaulig, how much support they're getting, and for AJ to still be hanging on to 13th place in points above so many highly backed teams is quite impressive. You know, he makes sure his bad days aren't that bad and his good days are really good. Vegas will be another test for him and Kaulig, though. 14th, Carson Hocevar. You expect Carson Hocevar to be really good at the high-speed tracks like Las Vegas. He can absolutely be up there contending for victory, but he could also be one putting it in the fence. He's really good about running well and not finishing well. This year has been different so far, so we'll see if he can keep up his strong finishing ability that he's had so far this season. 50th place, it's Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs making up for lost ground after a really poor start. Last 2 weeks have been pretty strong. Going 3 for 3 would be quite nice for him. Brad Keselowski, 16th. Vegas seems to suit RFK better than Phoenix did. So it'll be interesting to see how he does, how his broken leg kind of affects his race pace, see if he can battle through that and show some speed and potentially be up there competing for victory. Outside the playoff bubble, it's Daniel Suarez. He's 2 points back. Got some stage points, got caught up in a wreck. He was a contender for a lot of the race, so that's no indictment on Daniel Suarez. He's very much up here with the Michael McDowell's and the Carson Hosevars. He is not the third Spire guy. I don't think we can really anoint anyone as the weak link on that team just yet. He is by far the most impressive driver of that number 7 since they've gone to a 3-car team. 18th, Ryan Preece, ditto here with RFK. I don't think we can anoint him the third RFK guy yet either. He's just not had the luck of Chris Buescher or even a Brad Keselowski. That being said, Vegas is where you would hope that would change. Zane Smith, poor guy has been crashed while running in the top 10 2 weeks in a row. Zane Smith, things go left instead of right. He's right up here in the Bell, Logano, McDowell territory. Instead, he's down here in 19th. It just shows how quickly that can change. I'll be interested to see how Front Row does at the 1.5 miles. If they're showing to be competitive, you can see Zane Smith boosting his way back up. And then 20th, it's Kyle Busch. He's 144 points back up. Tyler Reddick, he is 19 points back up. Brad Keselowski for that final chase spot. We still have no idea what's going on with RCR. Feels like RCR is starting to get a little tired of Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is getting a little tired of RCR. We're going to his home track next week. We'll see if he can get a good result and kind of heal some maybe hurt feelings on this. And then the slow starters we got here, Ross Chastain, 151 back. Really, none of the Trackhouse guys have the speed except for SVG, which is kind of crazy to think about. Ross really behind the 8 ball. He's 26 points back at the final chase spot. He has a lot of drivers to pass. Trackhouse just really hasn't shown that race winning speed that you would expect, and Ross hasn't been able to hide it and kind of hide the negatives of those race cars. 29th and 30th. The Austin Bowl is pretty boring this year, it's starting to look like. Austin Dillon's ahead of Austin Cindric by 4 points, and they're both well over 40 points back of that final chase spot. And honestly, like, they both had really good runs. Austin Cindric was a dark horse to win this race. Austin Dillon was running in the top 10 for a good portion of it too. Just nothing's happening there. Not having that finishing ability that they need. Cindric, at what point do you start looking at that and be like, well, we got Blaney's in second, Logano's in 7th, and you're in 30th? His father's back with Team Penske in a lesser role, but I'm not sure how long you keep that kind of train rolling with results like this. 31st, Josh Berry. Next week will be a telling week. Josh Berry's a Las Vegas merchant. He's going to go out there and he's going to need to be contending for the win if he wants to see any kind of movement upwards. It's not been a good start to the year for Josh Berry. Chase Briscoe, another poor week for Briscoe. Blew a tire, poor finish. He has that one top 5, I think, at Atlanta, and nothing else to show for it. But the race pace is there. So he's been fast pretty much every week so far. Just hasn't had the results. But now he's already way behind the 8 ball. He's 53 points back of that final chase spot. He needs to start putting together some good runs. And not even good runs. He just needs to start finishing some races. 34th, Connor Zilic. See Ross Chastain up there. Trackhouse just has not had the pace outside of SVG somehow. Connor Zilic needs to just start putting together some strong finishes and clawing back and not ending up 34th in points. 36th. What a bad year this has been from Alex Bowman. It's gone from bad to worse. Pulled out of the car at Coda. Missed this week due to vertigo. 202 points back. He was already 77 points back in the final chase spot. Hopefully he's back next week for Vegas. We haven't fully announced it yet, it doesn't sound like. If not, we're just hoping that he can get healthy and come back to being a competitive race car driver again. It sucks to see that happen to anybody. Bowman's had some injury history in the past, but it's starting to look like this year you can already call it a wash for him. And we'll be back next day or so to look at the preview for next week's races. See ya.